All right, let's dive in. Today, we're exploring one of the most epic stories ever told, the story of Prophet Yusuf. It's this incredible tale of family, faith, and a journey that literally takes him from the bottom of a well to the steps of a throne. And you know what? It all kicks off with a single prophetic dream. See, it all starts right here, with a dream. A young boy, Yusuf, has this vision that's so profound, so cosmic, it sets in motion a chain of events that will define his entire life. He sees the sun, the moon, and 11 stars, all bowing down to him. And this one dream, it's the tiny seed that's about to grow into this massive, incredible saga. So, Yusuf was the super beloved son of the prophet Yaqub. His father's affection for him was just undeniable. But this special love didn't exactly go unnoticed by his 10 older half-brothers. While their father saw a cherished son, they started to see a rival. And that planted a really dangerous seed of jealousy right in their hearts. And look, this wasn't just simple sibling rivalry. The source calls their feeling hasad, which is this all-consuming, destructive kind of envy. It was like this fire burning inside them, fanned by this corrupting influence that made them see their own brother not as family, but as an obstacle that needed to be removed. So you can guess what happens next, right? That burning envy, it boils over into a full-blown conspiracy. They just couldn't live with what they saw as this great injustice, so the brothers decided they had to act. And this is where this family drama takes a really, really dark turn, becoming a story of cold, calculated betrayal. Okay, so their plan was just cold. A 5-step deception, and each step gets worse. First, they totally manipulated their father, convincing him to let Yusuf go out with them. Once they had him isolated, they overpowered their younger brother and literally threw him into a deep, dark well, leaving him for dead. To cover their tracks, they cooked up their proof, staining his shirt with goat's blood. And finally, they delivered the lie, marching back to their father with this tragic story about a wolf attack. But here's the thing, their father, Yaqub, even though he's completely crushed by grief, he immediately senses something is wrong. He takes one look at the bloodstained shirt they give him as proof and sees the fatal flaw in their story. His question just cuts right through the lie. Even in his deepest sorrow, he knows this isn't right. The whole story is already starting to fall apart. But Yusuf's story? It's nowhere near over. After 3 days, a passing caravan finds him when they're drawing water from that same well. You think he's saved, right? But his freedom is short-lived. He was basically pulled from one kind of prison only to be thrown into another, the busy slave markets of Egypt. And get this, he was sold for a mere 20 dirhams. That was it. That was the price tag they put on a beloved son, on a future prophet. This one detail just hammers home how far he'd fallen, from a cherished child to a commodity, sold for next to nothing. But of course, fate wasn't done with him yet. Yusuf gets purchased by a high-ranking official, the Aziz of Egypt, and he's brought into his household. And it's here that he catches the eye of the Aziz's wife, Zulayha, who becomes absolutely captivated by his extraordinary presence and, well, his divine beauty. So, Zulayha's infatuation goes from 0 to 100. It becomes a full-blown obsession. And one day, she tries to seduce Yusuf. He resists and runs, but she grabs his shirt from behind and tears it. Just then, her husband walks in, and suddenly you have this massive he said, she said confrontation. She accuses Yusuf to save her own skin, while he just stands by the truth. His entire future is hanging in the balance, all depending on who gets believed. So how do you solve this? Well, the standoff gets broken by something pretty miraculous. The source says an infant, a baby, in the house speaks up with this incredible wisdom, offering a simple way to find the truth. If Yusuf's shirt is torn from the front, he's the one who attacked. But if it's torn from the back, that proves he was running away, and he's the one telling the truth. So the evidence is right there. Yusuf is innocent. Case closed, right? Nope. To quiet down the scandal and protect the family's honor, the Aziz sends him to prison anyway. But here's the incredible twist. It's here, in the darkness of a prison cell, that Yusuf's true gift from God, his amazing ability to interpret dreams, really starts to flourish and get noticed. Okay, fast forward a few years. The king of Egypt starts having this really bizarre, troubling dream. 7 fat cows are eaten by 7 skinny ones, and 7 healthy green ears of corn are devoured by 7 dry ones. And nobody Nobody in the kingdom can figure it out. Then, word of Yusuf's gift reaches the palace. He's brought out of prison, and his interpretation? It's crystal clear. The kingdom is about to have 7 years of amazing harvest, followed by 7 years of a devastating famine. And just like that one interpretation changes everything. The king is so blown away by Yusuf's wisdom and foresight that he doesn't just free him, he elevates him to this position of immense power. He makes him the vizier, the man in charge of the entire nation's resources, tasked with preparing for the crisis to come. I mean, just look at his life journey. It's this incredible roller coaster of staggering highs and devastating lows. He goes from a beloved son in his homeland to a slave in a foreign market, then an innocent man locked in a prison cell, and finally, he rises to become the second most powerful ruler in all of Egypt. It's just wow. So just like Yusuf predicted, the famine hits hard. But his brilliant planning saves Egypt. And as the famine spreads, people from all over come looking for grain. And among them are 10 men from Canaan, his 10 brothers, the very same ones. They come begging for food, standing before the powerful ruler of Egypt, with absolutely no idea that he's the little brother they left for dead in a well all those years ago. So after putting them through a few tests, Yusuf finally reveals who he is. He forgives them and brings his entire family down to Egypt. And then you have this moment, this incredible moment that brings the entire story full circle. His parents and his 11 brothers all bow before him in respect. The celestial dream from his childhood, the one that started this whole thing, is finally and completely fulfilled. So when you look back at everything Yusuf went through, it really leaves you with this one big question. Through betrayal, through slavery, through unjust imprisonment, he never ever lost his faith. He endured it all with patience, trusting in a plan that was so much bigger than his own suffering. And so the story is kind of asking us, are these two things, patience and faith, not just virtues, but maybe the most powerful strengths any of us can have?